Hi,
Hey guys,
welcome to Wild Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
This week we're talking about episode 25.
Yes, Divergent Paths. Quite an episode,
Yes.
honestly, and both in-game and out-of-game.
Yeah.
We had Liam Skyping in from out of town, Travis and Laura gone for the birth of their son. Congratulations on the birth of Ronan.
Congratulations.
And then found out that Ashley's leaving.
Yep. And our speculation was wrong that they don't have the power to demand scheduling freedom.
We don't know that they've tried it yet.
True. That's true. Fair.
The impression I got, at least from Sam's song, because he's like, hey, if we ever do, I hope they let you play. Like, maybe they're considering it and haven't promised it yet. But regardless, she will be gone. Travis and Laura will be gone for a while, which had a nice little bow at the end of the episode on it.
Yeah. I should have looked it up. But I think California law provides for 6 weeks of leave.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's 6 weeks. I don't... And see, that's the thing. I don't know if Geek and Sundry is a union shop or not. So, presumably they are.
Yeah, I would say more than likely they are.
So, it may be 6 weeks before we have Laura back.
Yeah. And
Travis.
Yeah, because I think California does paternity leave now as well.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing,
Yeah.
But,
so, yeah. Before game night last night,
yes,
I mentioned to some of him and another friend of ours who watches the show that I thought Laura might have been having Braxton Hicks contractions. And I thought about mentioning that on our show last week.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's not game related. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it is show related, but not in-game related.
I didn't think Braxton Hicks per se. I mean, you're probably right. But I knew she was having, some kind of thing with that, and that it was getting close because of the ice pack and, constant, not that I have any kids. I know you have one, but I've been around several births. I have 2 nieces, 4 nephews, 4 great nieces. I'm getting a great nephew today and then another one in October, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were going to start with Molly.
Yes. Molly Mockatili.
In a weird way, Thursday was almost a Molly episode.
For a good chunk of it, yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see what happens going forward without half the group there.
Yeah.
Because, Marisha was almost, in a weird way, Ford's prodding her to take the leadership role. Yeah. Really bore fruit.
Yeah.
But Molly really sort of ran things.
Well, Molly kind of took that forward lead from the back role this week.
Yeah.
I nominate the human.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do this. Oh, she's having trouble. Let me step in and say something.
Yep.
He really took on that lead from behind kind of role that they do.
We got a taste of some of his performance.
Yes.
That they would do.
Yeah. He did the juggling again. He's done that a couple of times. But
and some tightrope.
The tightrope, the fence walking. Not a great start to that, but an excellent finish. And, you know, I know his dice rolls were a lot better with Percy in last campaign, but he's never played a high charisma, very influential person. He knows the things to say, but he's always been low to average on the rolls.
Yeah.
Because he's never played a high... Like, I don't think Percy had a very high charisma.
He was 12, I think.
Right, but that's, you know...
I mean, it's a modifier. It's more than...
It's a modifier. It's better than the average human or NPC. But in game terms, I think of the... You know, +0, +1 is being average. +2... Okay. When you're really good when you start getting +3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just because... You're playing heroes, so you tend to have the better modifiers.
Yeah.
But we got that. We saw, like I said, we saw him kind of leading from the back. We saw him get the "How do you want to do this?" at the end, near the end. So yeah, it really kind of was a Molly episode.
It's also So he and Ashley were sort of Jaegering Jester in that fight. And there were a couple moments where I could see Ashley fighting the urge to play like Pike.
Yeah.
Where she wanted to rush over to Caleb or not.
Yeah.
Who took a lot of damage in the opening round there, and just heal them.
Yeah.
Because that one round where they did Healing Word on Caleb, arguably that they didn't need to do, that the spiritual weapon would have been more effective.
Yeah.
Of use of the bonus action, and probably what Laura would have done.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're honest.
It is what Laura would have done.
But yeah, and it's interesting how other people play players' characters who aren't there.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, and it can be hard because you're trying to find the balance between what you've seen that character do, not knowing all of their backstory or machinations, plus what you would do as a character.
Yeah.
Or what you would do as a player.
Yeah.
You know? So it is, you know, and I've Jaegered other people's characters, and it is one of those balancing acts. So that, you know, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
It was fun watching him try to do the accent.
It was a roast.
Oh yeah.
Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody was roasting everybody.
Oh yeah.
Even the absentee people. I was like, wow. Especially on the my initial watch, I guess that just sort of washed over me and just kind of went. But on my rewatch, I was just noticing. I was like, man, they are just roasting everybody tonight.
And I think that was just kind of a release. I think all of their emotions were high because they're so close, especially like Marisha and Matt are, you know, they're almost like family in a lot of ways connected. And, you know, it's a big thing, you know, with Ronan being born. I think they said Travis's tweet was 3:45 in the afternoon on Thursday, so just before 4. So, you know, he was born, and
yeah, because they did make the comment in the episode that you couldn't wait 5 hours, or 6 hours, or whatever.
They were all there, you know, more than likely, or at least a couple of them at the hospital. All, you know, plus they're moving.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
Plus Marisha's wrapping up her job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it was just like a very stressful day for everybody, and it was just their way of just kind of venting, getting it out.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm half surprised they didn't give us a special announcement and cancel.
I was going to talk about that when we got to Caleb. So let's put a pin in that.
Let's put a pin in that.
I don't think we got anything earth-shattering from Molly in this episode.
No.
Backstory-wise, or even like tactics-wise, he didn't really. He got in and mixed it up much more. He
is embracing the I'm a melee fighter now a lot more. Even when they were being tactical, he was like, yeah, I need to be up there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Which I know that's your interpretation. I still have my interpretation. But that's how I would play the character. I'm not trying to pilot someone else's character. That's just what I,
Well, the in and out works, but I think, like, to take advantage of your two Sentinels, it's really great.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, so if I'm at that table and we're planning out stuff, the plan is Bo and Yasha get adjacent to whatever it is we want to take out.
They flank.
Molly moves in, attacks, leaves, provokes the attack.
Okay.
He can blood maledict, so they have disadvantage on the attack. His AC isn't bad. So, but the trigger for Sentinel is they make an attack, not that they hit with an attack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a limited resource, though. He's only got, I believe, 2 per short rest on the maledicts or long rest.
Okay.
So, I mean, he can't do that every time.
Well, I guess it's a reaction, isn't it?
It is a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is using his reaction as well.
Okay, so there might be some timing issues. I'd have to reread the specific text on whether or not he can use it on his turn anyway. But with mobile, like you say, he doesn't.
Yeah, with mobile, he doesn't need it. Either way, the thing's going to go after one of the Sentinels. He can use his reaction at that point.
Yeah.
Give it disadvantage.
And the other one gets
and the other one gets the attack.
Yeah.
And since you could almost argue that, I know it's not meant to I don't think they took into account it happening that way, but it describes it as them being blinded so they get disadvantage.
Yeah.
So you could argue that the other Sentinel gets advantage on their attack.
Yeah.
Which I don't think was thought through. What happens if there's 2 Sentinels and you do it so that he doesn't hit one? Because, I mean, come on. That's kind of a niche corner there.
Yeah, well, that's something. Well, that's definitely not something that they've used.
Yeah.
In the game thus far.
So there are some interesting tactics that could come out of that. But we did see him kind of trying to take that lead role again with the tech.
Yeah.
Well, what if we do it this way and this happens? And because they were like, yeah, and we'll be out. And then he's like, well, yeah, but we can hide and we can just wait and then jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. Overall, like you said, nothing earth-shattering, but we did see more just kind of character development in his personality.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
who's next?
Who's next?
Should we do Ford?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do for Jordy.
I thought they did a decent job in portraying Ford. Especially some of the stuff that Matt did. And I think...
Yeah, some of the things, like when he was talking to Bo, yeah, you're full of surprises, go ahead.
My guess is also Matt and Travis had a talk.
Okay.
About how he wanted
to
structure this
narrative
leaving. In fact, I think he probably had a talk with all of them because it wasn't an accident that Yasha and Ford were on watch together.
Yeah.
And Jester happened to wake up.
Well, I think he probably said, I have it out, and kind of like, you'll need to end up taking watch together.
Yeah.
But not telling them.
Yeah, I don't think
because that's
told
something
them.
they'll, experience as players.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll get some off-stream time with Matt before they come back for what's been happening during this time.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure that when Travis and Laura have, well, not that they're going to have any free time at this point, but once before they come back, they'll probably sit down for an hour or two and just talk out, maybe even do a little role play of, this is what's been happening.
Yeah.
What kind of things would you have done in that time, in that position? And I'm sure he does that with Ashley too.
Yeah. So Marisha's running forward mechanically.
Yes.
And she does all the things that Ford has done in half their combats. Armor of Agathis and Eldritch Blast.
Okay. She parodies everything that he's done in half the battles.
Yes.
Because she makes it a big joke.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the shotgun. It's like, I saw him do it once.
Now, the thing, so she cast Armor of Agathis, and I don't remember Ford taking any damage.
Nope.
So,
in fact, the one time they tried to get him to take damage, provoke the attack of opportunity so the Sentinels could go. And I think Matt changed his mind in that moment. Because he's like, yeah, he can back up it, there'll be an attack of opportunity. And they're like, ooh, oh wait, we're both Sentinels, so that would trigger our attack. If he decides to take it. Okay, he backs up. No, he doesn't take it. So I think in that moment, and I think it's because that was right near the end.
Yeah.
Matt changed his mind and didn't take it.
Yeah, and
which is a DM's prerogative, just like it's a player's prerogative whether to take that attack or not.
It is. And I think that may have been a bit of metagame influence.
Yeah.
Because I think because Marisha was so paranoid about killing Ford.
Yeah.
That's why, she cast Armor of Agathis to give him that buffer of hit points, I guess. And then kept him at range, rather than getting up. I mean, she did get up with the falchion. And really, him and Molly and Yasha were the three that really needed to be in melee with that thing. Yeah. Because of its resistance. Marisha did, we'll get to that one on Marisha, but I think they did Ford pretty good justice in the episode.
Yeah.
Matt said something, and now I'm drawing a blank on what it was. But he said something that I was like, that's almost a reveal. And I'm drawing a blank on what it was specifically. But it was near the end when he was talking to Yasha. I think. If my memory serves. I didn't write it down.
I'll have to go back and rewatch because I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like an earth-shattering thing. I don't think it was anything necessarily that we don't already know between information that's come out on Talks and what's come out at the table. But the way Matt worded it, I was like, yeah, Matt knows that there's something behind that information that we've got in the past.
Yeah.
And he's sort of dropping that for future. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that it for Ford? Or do we have anything?
Not really,
Yasha?
Sure.
All right.
Yasha harbinger of death, fallen angel.
Yes. I think Ashley was right in her instinct to use Magician's Judge. And I think she got talked out of it by the other players.
Okay.
Because... Now, I don't know... So, we can talk about this later real quick when we talk about the campaign and the monster.
Right.
But most constructs are vulnerable to dispel magic.
That's true.
And if you can get it, if you can pass the test, if you can succeed on the test, and most of them have a DC in there,
yeah,
the construct falls apart.
It's true.
So I don't know if Matt had a scaling DC already built into this encounter for that, or if he built that in on the fly when his players are asking about taking the armor off and getting in at the core.
Yeah.
Well, usually Matt doesn't describe narrative things happening in combat, or if he does, he regrets it because the players are usually like, well, that means he's got to be vulnerable to this, right? And then Matt's got to be like, no, I'm just saying that. I'm just...
Yeah.
It's a figure of speech. If there's no mechanical benefit to what I just said.
Yeah.
Whereas in this fight, they were asking, and he basically was giving them that. He was lowering the AC at some points.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was using just a modified version of attacking an object. So when they were attacking to lower its AC, they weren't actually doing hit point damage to the creature. Or I don't know exactly how he was doing that.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of felt like once they had done a certain amount of damage, it dropped one. Once they had done a certain amount of damage, it dropped another one.
Yeah.
Which the DC for the Dispel Magic could have gone down at those points too, if he did it like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, I think it would have been interesting. She didn't end up using it, so it wouldn't have mattered if she used it at that point if it didn't work.
Yeah.
But
I think she would.
I think if she had rolled well enough, it could have worked.
Yes, and unfortunately, the ladies tend to be the ones who get talked out of things.
Yeah.
And I find that even at our table sometimes.
Okay.
And I just kind of wish that sometimes they would stick to their guns.
Yeah.
And do what they initially thought about doing.
I really, really, really try to stay quiet on other people's turns.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's really, I think that's all my major notes for Yasha for this episode.
Yeah.
Was I think she was right in wanting to use Magician's Judge.
Yeah, she was.
And she was the major damage dealer.
Yeah.
In that fight because of the magic, and
the Divine Fury and all that good stuff. And then of course, since we just Molly did give her the silk flower that he bought at the carnival.
Yeah.
And so she has mentioned that she's saving these things for someone special, and she also told Kiri that she would send her treasures from her travels. The end when they split with Kiri. So, and I thought that was interesting. It was like, so was this like someone she was taking care of that she's sending these things back for?
Is it a daughter?
Is it a daughter? Is it
niece, nephew?
Little sister or brother?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That kind of was like, oh, hey, wait, she did that this is the second time she's promised someone that. Once in her backstory and once now.
Yeah.
So.
Jester?
Sure.
All right.
With the spiritual weapon and the... I love how Matt played her with the concern when they wanted her to put the tar in the haversack. And I was just like, why are they doing that?
Well, and when he had her offer to forge the Tinker Tops.
Yes, and I could send a message.
Didn't she end up sending that?
She did.
Okay, so on my rewatch,
hey Fritz, this is the girl with the people who are making me mad.
Yeah, hour and a half in, when they come back from break, I think they're talking about how many spells Jester has cast today, and they're like, "Well, she cast 2 locate objects today." They forgot the sending.
Yeah.
They didn't count that when they were trying to reconstruct her resource usage. Now, I don't think it made a big difference in the battle.
Right.
She didn't cast another 3rd level spell, and marked off the last 2nd level spell slot.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it made a big difference, but I was just like, yeah, but like 40 minutes ago, you just cast a 3rd level spell slot.
The other thing I liked that when Matt was playing her was you were keeping delicious molasses from us? Which we'll get into with Caleb. You know, I wanted to bring that up with Molly because he got all excited about that too. But, those just little, I was just like, yeah, that's, Liam and Sam weren't kind to her though.
No. No, not at all.
That's way too smart a thing for Laura to say.
Yeah, which I thought was way unfair. Again, and yeah.
Well, that's kind of... He said things like that before, teasing when people have been gone. That's just kind of his thing. And I don't think he meant offense by it, and I don't think anyone took offense by it.
No.
He's definitely... I believe he said that about her one time when she was gone in Campaign 1 as well. He said something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did.
Because I remember that alluding to the fact that, oh, wait, that tactic's way too smart for her to play.
And it was a funny line, and I laughed at it when I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, what we've been saying, she's the one that's picking up on everything.
Yeah.
And
that's why, like, in retrospect, on the second viewing, I'm just kind of like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
So many walls broken. When Liam, as Caleb, complimented
is trying to give fatherly
Travis
advice
as Ford, but Matt was playing him and giving him fatherly advice.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait. That's,
We have an implosion of realities here.
Like
Deadpool save us.
Oh, God. Oh, please, no.
Matt says you've broken through the prismatic wall.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that Matt gave away like he did before, but I don't think there was.
Not really. Very touching moment that we'll get to in story when Carrie left for her.
Yes.
And I'm sure Laura hates the fact that she was not there for Carrie's goodbye.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that might have been what I was thinking about, was that whole moment, and I think Marisha was crying for Laura.
Oh yeah.
Whereas, I don't think Bo would have been that emotional.
No, but Marisha would.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a huge,
Yes. But I think she was, because there was a couple times, I think, in that exchange where she commented on what Jester would probably be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely took over the Jaegering Jester for that.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to Bo, since we're talking about
Let's go to Bo.
All right.
Beauregard, the criminal monk.
Yeah, and taking a huge leadership role.
Yes.
In this episode, like we said at the top, she was frustrated this episode.
Yeah. She was
to
frustrated
hit rolls
with the
weren't.
rolls, and yeah,
They were saving against her effects.
yeah,
And I think... So, Matt mentioned that they altered the Cobalt Soul Monk so that their extract aspects isn't a saving throw anymore. They just get the information.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good change.
Yeah.
For several reasons. One, it speeds up play. Two, the player's expending a resource for that.
Yeah.
And that's not damage. It's not like that kind of thing.
I think it was initially had the save because it was like a stunning fist effect. But I mean, the mastermind at higher levels can do a similar thing. I think at 9th level they get an ability where they can watch someone and figure things out, and there's no save involved.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why the change happened, because there's official classes that do a similar but not as, without the save.
Not as wide breadth as the monk can get.
Right.
Yeah. So and she was way disappointed when she's like, I want its lowest save. Charisma.
Which
it's a construct.
Yeah. I saw that coming.
Like,
As soon as she said lowest, I was like, charisma. Save. Charisma. Really,
although I have to say,
personality.
This is going to be probably the shallowest comment I'm probably ever going to make on the show. But when she went down and then came back up, her hair looked amazing. I don't know.
All right.
And again, that's not anything to do with the game. It's just the show.
Yeah.
So, but I was just like, wow. Do you have anything else? Okay, I will say this. It's kind of a Bo Caleb cross, but again, end of that fight, they had both nearly died. They slumped down together. 2 episodes later, 2 perfect opportunities for organic reconciliation. Yeah.
I am just personally, I am frustrated that people made such a big deal about it that they felt they had to force it. And I don't know that they did, but that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And, I hate it when people make me feel like I have to go a certain way with my characters.
Yeah.
That's kind of a pet peeve. I tried my best. I mean, some things slip. Sometimes people ask me for advice because we play with a lot of newer players.
Yeah.
And you and I have been playing for decades at this point. Yeah. And I'll give it to them, but I really, really try to let other people play their own characters and let things happen naturally. I try not to even play my,
Yeah.
I'm always coming at you. Every week I'm coming at you. This may be where my character's going. Because it seems like something very divergent happens every session lately. And I'm like, somewhere in all of this is the mix that will become cohort, my character.
Yeah.
But these are, like, if I were to level up now, this is what I would do because of what's been happening.
Yeah.
And I just always run that by you because, well, one, you're a good sounding board. Because you, like me, like to talk about this stuff. We have a lot of ideas. Yeah. We're into the storytelling. 2, you're my DM, and if something sparks you as, oh, that could be good story, it might help give you ideas to plant seeds in there.
Yeah.
Whether I take them and take that path or not, it could be interesting story.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's just my little pet peeve about. That's the only thing I really dislike about Campaign 2 so far.
Yeah.
Is I felt that was forced due to
audience reaction.
And it's just like, let it play out. They're actors. They know their characters. We don't know their characters. We don't know everything about their characters. You know, like the one guy on Talks asked a question on Talks right after that because they had Marisha and Liam on, and he's like, and, you know, it was one of the things I thought as well. I may have mentioned it. I don't think I did, though. But Caleb reacted, because I think I said Caleb went about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I said it was like what she rebelled against.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, that's dead on. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
And that makes it completely understandable.
Yeah.
You know? But just, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of my rant.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else for Beauregard this episode. I mean, she was right. I do want to point this out also, that when she was frustrated that her roles weren't hitting, and she was like, well, at least I'm providing flanking. She's right.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Yeah.
When you're letting the barbarian crit fish without having to get advantage on her, on attacks against her, that's huge.
Yeah, huge. Huge.
I've definitely jumped in when I shouldn't have to give our barbarian flanking.
Yeah.
Other thing with Bo, kind of connected to my rant, but not really, but the end. She goes up to Caleb, hey, let's kind of keep each other in, you know, Caleb's like, hey, I really like that, helping somebody. Maybe we should start doing that more. And Bo was like, yeah, me too.
Which comes back to my comment a couple weeks ago that their text thread is beginning to get filled with Laura saying, we are helping the bad guys.
Yeah. But she was like, hey, let's keep each other in check. You know, we've both made mistakes. We've both hurt people. Let's be that counterbalance, that checks and balances for each other. Which I think is an organic dynamic for the two of them.
Yeah. Because
they both confronted the other. Caleb not as directly.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I think that works, and I can see them having a relationship, you know, kind of like
Batman and Superman.
I was going to say an inverse of Keyleth and Percy, where Keyleth and Percy kind of relied on each other, but emotionally and roleplay wise, they're kind of relying on each other, like, whereas not necessarily as like, oh, I'm here for you, but hey, snap out of it, you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
More the confrontational support rather than the, codependent support.
Yeah, I can see that.
But, a brother-sister kind of, you know.
Yeah. Should we move on to Caleb?
Let's move on to Caleb.
Oh, Caleb. So, first thing I want to talk about, which we put a pin in this 10 minutes ago. Liam being on Skype.
Yes.
I don't think he was supposed to be there. Because he actually made a comment, I didn't know I would be playing tonight.
Yeah, no. He was on vacation at Yellowstone with his family.
And I think they called him and said, look, if you don't play, it's going to be three people at the table.
Yeah.
Can you find a way?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why he didn't have the cat paper.
Yeah. So, kudos to him for showing up.
Yeah, definitely.
For his friends and for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we had, I don't know, he had Schmidt get the tar.
Yes.
Which was an odd side quest and an odd thing to try to steal. when they probably just could have gone up to the gate and asked, "Can we buy some from you?" Or where do you get it, and can we buy it from them?
Well, they were initially going to buy it,
Yeah.
but you know,
Well, a heist is more fun. I mean,
Bo rang the doorbell, so to speak,
yeah.
and said, "Hey, money or trade for goods, for supplies." And they're like, "Fuck off." And he's like, "All right, let's steal it." You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have gone about it better. There's probably a different way, but I mean, they did attempt to purchase it.
Yeah. He's the Earthen Grasp seems to be quickly becoming his go-to.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be on his prepared list for a long time to come.
Yeah.
And it serves him well.
Yeah, at least 2 or 3 more spell levels.
Yeah. Well, there's the upgraded version of that one. Basically, can pull something that's flying down to the ground. Earthen Grasp, I think is what it's called. No,
he's using.
Yeah, it's
Earthen Grasp.
No, I can't remember the name of the spell now, but it's in Xanathar's.
Yeah.
He still hasn't gotten the opportunity to copy invisibility into the spellbook.
No.
Which would have been useful, because then he wouldn't have had to use Schmidt. He could have just cast it on Knot. But using Schmidt meant he didn't have to spend a spell
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me 10 minutes. 10 what? Oh, whatever. And I love that about Caleb.
Yeah.
He's always looking to cast things ritualistically, and everyone's like, "Really? 10 minutes?"
As a wizard should.
As a wizard should, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything. He didn't bother to try to get himself off that hook when he got pinned.
Yeah.
And he, he took umbrage with the statement that there's none of us can talk to anybody.
Yeah. That is incorrect.
Which I thought was interesting. So I'm wondering, going forward, not this week, but next week when they're back after the move, is Caleb gonna step up to be that leader? Especially because now,
because he also made
Ford's
the comment. He also made the comment that just because I can doesn't mean I like to.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's a given.
Right, but I mean, I think he took offense that because he has done some talking in the past and just talking, and I think he was more taking offense to they were just assuming he can't. Yeah. And that if he does, it's a spell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a 16 charisma.
Yeah.
He is not bad at all. That's a +3.
Yeah. I'm hoping that there's a temptation for Caleb to take levels of Warlock. Mostly because I kind of want to see Not get nervous about missing that 9th level spell slot.
That's just mean.
I don't even know what kind of Warlock Caleb would do. I don't know right now what would make sense.
Right now, I don't think any of them would make sense.
No. Well, maybe Great Gold One, but it's a stretch.
It would be a stretch, but
but yeah, that's.
I mean, it's not Warlock. It would, stack the slots, but I could see him going Sorcerer more than Warlock.
Yes.
And actually, the Rune Child, Tal'Dorei specific, because he was talking about the, always having this inner potential and stuff, which is basic Sorcerer, but the Rune Child is that stepped up.
Yeah.
He's too meticulous for the chaos.
Storm Soul.
Oh.
If he and Yasha get closer,
I could see that. Storm Soul Sorcerer if he and Yasha get closer. And, he did, and, Liam had a few metagame moments. Jester, can we borrow your backpack? Yasha, you're quiet. Are you planning on leaving us?
Yeah, he was.
And she's like, why would I do that?
He was definitely.
Well, I think
fishing.
It's fairly obvious, but okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, and Sam, when that was his response when Jester was like, "No, it's my bag," and he's like, "Yeah, but we need it."
But now they have it, and she's gone.
Yeah. So.
Problem solved.
Yeah, I don't. Like, it was like Caleb almost took the lead in attempting to console Kiri.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he thought that was definitely something that Caleb would do, or if he felt the pressure of Laura not being there, and that's probably what Laura would have done.
No, I could see Caleb having done that for two reasons.
Okay.
One, they just helped out the kids, and he felt really good about that.
Yeah.
And now he's got a chance to help out another one. Two, when they first met Kiri, one of his concerns was that if we take her with us, she will die. She won't be safe.
Yeah.
So I think those two things culminating, seeing Kiri with the kids, yeah, I can do this. It'll be another helping. It will keep her safe, which was my initial concern.
Yeah.
So I think it's very much something Caleb would have done, in my opinion, given those, just two things that seemed random at the moment, but,
Yep. And they gave the kids 20 gold. And then they gave the family 50, so that's 70.
Plus the 150 that they paid for the bailout.
Well, I'm not counting. I'm talking about cash in hand.
Okay.
That they've given the family.
Yeah.
For a comfortable lifestyle, it's 360 gold a year.
For how many people?
One.
For one.
So they've given a little over a sixth.
Well, there's 7 of them now.
Yeah, but they're just going to pay child support for the one.
Okay.
I mean, that's where my mind went with that whole thing when she's like, and here's 50 gold. I was like, oh, it's child support. And I was like, wait, how much would it be? So, yeah.
Yeah, so they gave them quite a bit.
Yeah. Which hopefully the tax man in the neighborhood doesn't find.
Right. Yeah, the Reaper.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. If they become
come back and find out. But yeah, that's true. Let's do Not real quick, so we have a few minutes to talk about
story.
Yeah.
Little Not.
They almost put Sam in the position to speak. and he almost got caught doing it. And he quite flatly said, I am not talking to anybody. This is something you guys gotta do.
Yeah.
Because not me.
We're going into a prison. You want me to talk to the guards?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a special kind of stupid. Though he did talk to the parents. That was, oh, don't worry. They're with a bird with a dagger. Wait, what? Wait, you're a...
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them a bird with a dagger. They're fine.
Yeah. And I felt so bad for Sam when he took that attack of opportunity.
Yeah, with the butt of the crossbow.
Yeah. And Matt was a kind and shrewd game master, and
yes,
letting his player make that attack with an improvised weapon. Bang. Oh, and here's a shit ton of damage. Oh, you don't have your reaction to have it. Sorry.
Yeah. No. And now you know how reactions work.
Yeah.
That's exact phrase.
That's exactly what Matt said.
So, and when he said that, I went back to, like, my brain went back to when he was like, sure, why not? I'll let you do it. And I was like, he knew that he was going to do that as soon as Matt...
technically, I believe Not should have gotten her sneak attack on that. I don't remember the exact layout of the battlefield as it left Not square, if she had an ally adjacent or not. I mean, you could argue that Yasha was, but Yasha was prone.
Right.
But yeah. Other than that, from a mechanical standpoint, I think that's all I thought about. All I had notes on.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it for Not specifically.
Although Sam's back to the episode count.
Yep.
Shirt, costume, gag.
I'm just gonna hold my mustache on with another mustache.
So this, my daughter was here, and I missed the first half hour of this episode live.
Okay.
So I tuned in, and I'm like, "What? Why?" And my daughter comes in. She's like, "Why is he wearing that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I think it took till after the break, or sometime in that fight, I realized what it was.
Yeah. Well, right before the break, Marisha was like, "No, you held on to it till the break, and you got rid of it at the break." I remember, because you really wanted him out of that.
Yeah.
I think that was their first Halloween episode, because it's when Marisha and Laura dressed up as rat queens, and he was Smokey, and
because he had made the Burt Reynolds thing. But I think Marisha was wrong, if my memory of that episode is correct. I think it came off here by the break, but he was wearing it all over his face.
Yeah.
Like is my memory of that. Hood. Yeah. Yeah.
Is your mustache below your... I have a mustache?
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I don't think... Yeah, we've got 5 minutes, so let's try and get some story going.
Well, first thing, I called it last week. Kiri went with the gnome family.
Yep.
That was my first gut instinct when I saw them leave her, and that's what happened.
Yep.
And that was really emotional. There was quite a bit of emotional stuff happening at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Carrie going around saying her goodbyes. Don't eat humans, okay? Gave the dagger back the correct way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering how much of time is going to pass over this campaign. Because it would be interesting to see Kiri come back as a rogue.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where she was going. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Easily,
I was wrong about the monster.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a Shield Guardian chassis. But I think it was more like, I think there's it's either a lava monster or some version of the bullet.
The lava bullet? The one that they fought, the Vox Machina fought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
in Volos.
Yeah, I think he reskinned that for this.
Okay.
Or retuned it to be closer to their level.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was reskinning something or if this was like Calorie the Frog Demon, which was just a Matt Mercer creation.
Yeah. It's likely a straight up Matt Mercer creation. And I think, and honestly, this episode and deconstructing that monster and the encounter taught me a few things about monster design.
Okay.
Namely that, because I mentioned that he would reskinning the Shield Guardian to, instead of doing a reaction protect, a reaction attack, he just gave it a damaging aura.
Yeah.
Which helped put out damage without changing the action economy.
Right.
Overly much.
Here's the question: does that thing evolve? Because when they talked with Cleft, it had no range capability. Cleft specifically said, no, it shouldn't. I didn't put anything in it when they asked about ranged attacks. And it both had an AoE spray and it was able to huck spears.
Yeah.
He went back when they questioned him about it, but he said, no, it doesn't have any way to clear the lens. They tarred it. It cleaned itself off. He's like, oh, well, that was just for rain. I didn't know it would work on tar.
Well, this is also a good tip for game masters. And it's something that novelists use.
Uh-huh.
And that is the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
He is a crazy gnome inventor.
Yeah.
We know his stuff doesn't work all the time. So maybe he just forgot that it was in there.
Or maybe he didn't mean to put it in there, but did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absent-minded gnomes. That happens a lot with Dragonlance gnomes.
Yeah.
But regardless, I was like, whoa, wait. When it did that, I was like, okay, either this thing evolves or, Cleft lied to him.
Well, yeah. I think
that was my initial thought.
I think I prefer the unreliable narrator.
I do too. But that was my initial thought.
Yeah. So,
and
we're running out of time. We talked about it over dinner.
Yes.
And we are going to do a show next Tuesday.
Big
even
surprise.
Though there's no Critical Role Thursday and no talks on Tuesday, we're going to do a show Tuesday. It will have several benefits, one of which our episode count will be the same as...
Because our first episode covered the first two episodes.
Yep.
So
basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a big sort of overarching roundup of everything and where we think we might be going and all that kind of stuff.
Character develop,
Yeah.
Go a little bit into each character and then the arc as a whole and what we think still is going to pan out that we've said on the show and what we've given up on and what new things we might think.
Because I think there's more in this, especially in the leaving, that we didn't get to talk about, that we will. So, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.